It is time for me to prioritize, to finish what I've started. Years ago, I finished writing the book, which is the script, and the score, which is the music, for Dumpster Diver the Musical. When I first moved to New York in 2012, I started putting together plans to produce it. And at the end of 2013, I had a cast and a crew together, and I still have those notebooks with all their numbers. And it was very inspiring to watch people audition via videos that they sent to me and hear them sing the songs and hear them read the lines. And there was a few people that memorized the lines, and they're very talented. And it's time for me to remind myself to produce Dumpster Diver the Musical. In the meantime, I wrote the book, the script for another musical, 1989 the musical. And I have an idea about writing a musical called Bicycle Days, and it would be about my adventures in 1994. But at the moment, soon I would like to produce Dumpster Diver the musical, stage it, and then sometime after that, produce 1989 the musical, which will be an interactive musical about my experiences working at McDonald's in the late 80s. And it would use music from the 80s, specifically music that's alternative and progressive and new wave. Some of it mainstream, most of it a little bit not as mainstream. Arriving in New York, it's like taking a drink of water from a fire hydrant. There's so much inspiration, and that was the backdrop that served as inspiration for writing my first novel, The Rails. And I have the step outline ready to write the second novel. It also inspired me to write Geordie, a screenplay about a homeless girl that's a bit of a Valentine to the abandoned and forgotten and neglected areas of New York City. So I'm happy that I've been able to accomplish these projects. However, it's time for me to set them free, particularly Dumpster Diver the Musical and 1989 the musical, and also to produce Geordie, which would require a good cinematographer. I'd like to get 2 cinematographers, a DP, a director of photography, a sound guy, and a professional editor. That's 5 people as the crew, and then some PAs, production assistants. And then the cast is mainly Geordie, Rich, the guy that she meets, Jim, the therapist, that's her uncle that she stays with in Brooklyn, and the detective, Will, who's following Geordie. I see Geordie in my head, and I see the scenes in my head, and I would like to storyboard it. I've been writing music for Geordie, just the songs, and ideas for the songs and melodies, and posting those videos to YouTube so I have them archived. However, my next step for Geordie is to finish the storyboard and then put the music to the storyboard and then put that to YouTube, so I'll have all the scenes and the music laid out. Geordie is very visual, and the music is very important, and the acting is very important. However, with the script, what I want to do is, once I get the animatic, which is essentially the storyboard done for Geordie, and I have the soundtrack that I'll compose, and maybe have a friend from Italy who does soundtracks, maybe he'll help me record it, and some other friends who know Ableton. Once I get the animatic, which is the storyboard and the music for Geordie, and once I get the cast, once I get the crew, then my next step is getting the cast, getting the actors and actresses, and doing a script read-through. And I would like to get the actors and actresses to inhabit their characters in such a way that the character becomes a part of who they are. And they would help with the dialogue, and they would help create that character. The dialogue is important, but it's only important as long as it serves the story, moves the story forward, and keeps the audience engaged to watch it. Because essentially, a movie scene is like a mini movie. Even if a scene is 1 minute long, it has a beginning, middle, and an end. Beginning, introduction of characters. Middle, introduction of conflict. End, resolution of conflict. But ends on a question mark or a cliffhanger, so you're compelled to watch the next scene. Essentially, a feature film is a series of short films strung together with cliffhangers at the end and characters that you care about. And I think Geordie, once it is done, and once it is done right, will combine all of this. Anyway, this is Chris Kemp. Yeah, I guess this is a video vlog, a video blog, a diatribe, ideas